Hey, what is going on, guys? Goose here, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to it, ring the notification bell, click all notifications, and give the video a thumbs up. All right, Saints fans, draft is over with, as Saints have made their picks, as they ended up with only 4 picks in the draft. They started out with 5. They had the first, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and ended up with only 4 picks. So they lost 1 pick because of trades. So the first pick of the draft, they picked, actually the first round, 24th pick of the draft, they picked Cesar Ruiz, center out of Michigan. This guy was he was the top-rated center in the draft, and he was also the top-rated interior offensive lineman in the draft. So I'm sure people have seen my video about this. I wasn't happy about it. Still not happy about it a little bit, but they made up for it with the other picks in the draft. But anyway, is this guy going to play center? Is he going to play guard with the Saints? Because they got Eric McCoy last year in the draft in the second round. He ended up being the starter last year for the Saints and did a very, very good job for the Saints. Got pick up blitz packages, stuff like that. Eric McCoy did an awesome job. So it'll be interesting to see if Cesar Ruiz is going to be the starting center or is he going to be the guard. I just interested to see how this pans out. But he has a 6.40 rating on the NFL.com, which means they anticipate him to be a starter within the first 2 seasons. I think he's going to start next year. Just the way Sean Payton has talked about him since the draft. So I would look for Cesar Ruiz to start day 1 for the Saints. Okay, and round 3, they actually had to move up to get this guy. As it was round 3, pick number 10 in the 3rd round, as they got Zach Bowen, a linebacker out of Wisconsin. This guy was supposed to be a late first round talent, early second round talent, but then had a diluted water sample test, put him down a couple notches, as he was the 3rd best linebacker rated in the draft behind Isaiah Simmons and Patrick Queen. He had 12.5 sacks last season for the Badgers, and NFL.com has him a 6.5 rating. What's a 6.5 rating? It's a boom or a bust project. So they either anticipate him to be a boom or a bust. So interesting to see, as the Saints do need linebacker help, as their linebacking core was injured last year. Anzalone was hurt. Kiko Alonso was hurt. The only guy that was really the only guy that was reliable was Demario Davis. That's the only guy that they have. That's the only guy that's on the roster that's reliable, that they can count on to stay healthy. I mean, they just lost bodies last year and hurt them down the stretch. Hurt them against the playoff game against the Vikings, as they just could not rush the passer, and it showed. So Zach Bowen was an outstanding pickup for the Saints. He slid down to the 3rd round, and they moved up to get him, and it was a good pick. It was a good pick for the Saints to get Zach Bowen. I think he's not going to be a bust, my opinion, but that remains to be seen. As so good pickup for the Saints. Right? Then they picked again in the 3rd round as they moved up, as they traded all their picks. They traded away the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th round to move up to get up Adam Troutman, the tight end. The 3rd rated tight end coming into the draft. This is another guy that's very, very talented. He had like 900 yards receiving last year. 14 touchdowns, and his rating was 6.27, which constitutes as a backup who could convert to be a starter. This guy has a lot of talent, Adam Troutman, as I expect him to get some playing time next year. Outside of Jared Cook, the Saints tight end is just a little iffy, man. Josh Hill's serviceable. But one thing that this guy can do, Troutman, is block. He can block and catch, and that's something that the Saints desperately need. They need somebody that can do both. Some tight ends can only do one. Either they can block or they can catch. Some can't do both. This guy can. So this was an outstanding pickup. 3rd rated tight end coming into the draft. So Adam Troutman, good pickup for the Saints. I watched some videos on him after the draft. I really didn't know much about him. I didn't think the Saints were going to go tight end. So, but this guy's good. This guy's good, and I think he's going to play a good role for the Saints next season. Okay, then. Like I said, they were supposed to have no more picks in the draft, but they traded up to get this next guy, Tommy Stevens, quarterback out of Mississippi State. I believe they gave a 6th round pick in next year's draft move up into the seventh round to get him. He's just. I don't know what they're really the Saints are thinking here. Some say that he's a Taysom Hill clone. He doesn't throw the ball very well. He had 6% passing last season. He did run the ball decent, 4.6 yards per rush, 381 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns. He's up a little athletic, but he's had some injury issues at Mississippi State. I think they got him in this spot just to see that maybe can he be the Taysom Hill clone? Because what if Taysom Hill becomes the starting quarterback for the Saints next season, and then you don't have that guy that can be what Taysom Hill was, be that Jacko with a Swiss Army knife, where special teams, H-back, RPO, stuff like that. But I think Taysom Hill would run RPOs if he's a quarterback, but of course he can't do the other stuff. That's the reason why I think they got Tommy Stevens in the draft, was for that reason. But will he make the team? That remains to be seen. It's a 7th round pick. How many 7th round picks really, really make the team and make any kind of significance? Not very many, but some do. Sometimes you find a diamond, sometimes you find a diamond in the rough in the later rounds. So, all right, let's go over the undrafted free agents. Let's see, click off this. Boom. All right, undrafted free agents. As the Saints were very, very active in the undrafted free agent market as they signed a host of guys. Will they pan out? Will they even make the team? Majority of these guys won't. But there has been some guys that have made the team and gone on to a great career. I'm talking about the NFL. Kurt Warner, quarterback of the Rams, and it was a guy, Tony Romo. There's a bunch of guys, if you go look in history, that were undrafted that went on to have good careers. So sometimes you find them, most times you don't. But this is a list that the Saints went and got. As Marquez Galloway, wide receiver out of University of Tennessee. Calvin Troutman, offensive tackle out of Oregon. Then they had tackle guard combo Jordan Strecker. He's from Northern Illinois. Then a defensive lineman Malcolm Roach from Texas. Offensive tackle Darren Paulo from Utah. Tony Jones, running back out of Notre Dame. Joey Bashie, linebacker out of Michigan State. Then Keith Washington, defensive back out of West Virginia. Then they had 2 guys from Oregon back-to-back. You had wide receiver Juwan Johnson and defensive end Gus Cumberlander, both from Oregon. Then a defensive back Tino Ellis out of Maryland. Then they got a punter. I don't know really what they got a punter. They got one of the best punters in the league in Morstead, but they did get a punter in the undrafted free agent market, Blake Gilligan from Penn State, and also they got the offensive guard out of LSU, Adrian McGee. Interesting to see if any of these guys pan out. Of course, I know Adrian McGee being an LSU fan. He was decent for LSU. Didn't get drafted, so it's going to be an uphill battle for him to make the roster. But so let me know what you guys think. As originally, like I said, when I originally know about the Cesar Ruiz pick, of course, I really wasn't too happy about it. Still a little iffy on that one. Remains to be seen if it works out or not. I really didn't think the Saints really needed offensive line help. I thought they could have get another receiver in the draft. They didn't. They did not address the wide receiver in the draft. I thought that was I don't know if it's a miss, but a lot of receivers went early. Before the 3rd round, so the Saints were kind of behind the 8 ball because they weren't able to move up and get a receiver. Because I thought Van Jefferson might be there in the 3rd round. He ended up not being there. But I thought the Saints. But looking at the picks. Look at the 4 picks they got. See this. Let's pull it up again here. Yeah, there we go. So Cesar Ruiz, Zach Bowen, Adam Troutman, and Tommy Stevens. Looking at the 4 picks. I had to give them a B on this grade because you went out and you got the highest rated center in the draft. You got the 3rd best linebacker and the 3rd best tight end. So talent-wise, the Saints, I think they did very, very well because Zach Bowen is going to be a very good linebacker in the league. He can rush the passer, something the Saints need. The Saints need somebody else that can rush the passer. That really hurt them late in the year when Davenport was out and also Sheldon Rankins. The Saints just could not rush the passer with any kind of consistency. So they desperately needed somebody, especially in the linebacker position, that can rush the passer. So I like the picks. honestly. I mean, like I said, I'm iffy on the Caesar Ruiz, but look, the guy is very highly rated. This guy's going to come in. He's going to help the Saints out. So that's what we all want as a Saints fan. We want somebody that's going to come in here and play well, no matter what position he plays in. So, uh, I anticipate the three of the guys to do well. Ruiz, Bowen, and Troutman. Does Tommy Stevens even make the roster? Remains to be seen. I mean, I doubt it. I mean, this guy he had a lot of injury problems in Mississippi State, and if he can't stay healthy in NFL, they'll cut you in a heartbeat and just find somebody else to replace you. But let me know what the Saints fans think in the draft. What do you give it? As I give it a B. I hate giving drafts an A for the sole reason is they have not played one down in the NFL. How can you give it an A? Because you have no way of knowing how it's going to pan out. I like judging draft classes maybe a year down the road when you see who's playing, who's not playing, who's out the league, who's in the league. I think you get a better understanding of what grade you can give it. But on paper, it's an awesome draft. Like I said, highest rated center, third rated linebacker, third rated tight end. I mean, for the limited amount of picks the Saints got, I think they did very, very well. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and who dat?